WNBA owners and Caitlin Clark moving along with business as usual. Meanwhile, the WNBPA continues to play games and waste everyone's time. They don't have their stuff together. They're not united like they keep lying and pretending to be. Half of the players are ready to sign the deal that the WNBA laid on the table. Meanwhile, the WNBPA is going and sending out proposals that the players don't even give a damn about because they are willing to.
The frustration on display tells you everything. This is no longer just about tough negotiations or routine labor tension. This is what it looks like when a professional sports league reaches a defining moment and still cannot get everyone moving in the same direction. At the exact time, Caitlin Clark's growing influence is accelerating the league's visibility, and ownership groups are clearly thinking in terms of structure, investment, and deadlines. The players' side appears trapped in internal disorder. That is what makes this so serious. The calendar is no longer forgiving.
We already know that we had players come out and call the WNBPA its leadership selfish. Okay, we've had the agents come out and blast them. And now we have Caitlin Clark and the WNBA owners moving along with business as usual until they get serious.
March 10th is not some symbolic checkpoint. It is the date hanging over every conversation, every proposal, and every public statement. Once you get this close to a deadline, confusion becomes costly. Delays stop being strategic and start becoming dangerous. And from the outside, this no longer looks like one unified association pushing toward a common goal. It looks like a split room. That is the part people cannot ignore. Reports and reactions suggest there are players who are prepared to move forward with the deal already available, while leadership continues pushing positions that do not appear to reflect full internal consensus. When the people you represent are openly questioning the direction of the process, that is not leverage. That is instability. It gets even more revealing when you look at who raised the alarm. These were not random online voices chasing attention. These were established agents representing major talent across multiple levels of the league, from stars on top-tier contracts to players still trying to establish themselves. And the complaint was not dramatic. It was specific. It was about transparency. That matters because agents are paid to protect their clients from exactly this kind of uncertainty.
Do that, okay? You had Lindsay Kawaga, you had Jay Lee English, you had Aaron Kane, who represents Caitlin Clark, okay? You had Gina Paradiso, and you had Boris Leshchitsky, okay? Now, these agents represent a large crop of the WNBA from top to bottom, stars to mid-tiers to young players on rookie contracts. And it's up to them to look out for the best interests of all of their clients, not just the people that are getting max contracts, not just the rookies, all of their clients.
If they are saying they were shut out, rushed, or denied the chance to properly review information before key decisions were made, then the issue is no longer just economics. It becomes process. It becomes trust. And once trust starts slipping during a negotiation this important, the entire balance of power changes. The league can sense that. The owners can sense that. And that is why the next move matters more than ever. The key point here is that the league is not slowing down just because the union side appears divided. Operations are still moving. Ownership groups are still planning.
Caitlin Clark and WNBA ownership has decided we're moving things along. We'll be coming around the mountain when we go. We're not waiting around for y'all. Listen, I am pretty sure the WNBA owners have a contingency plan if these players, if the WNBPA doesn't get their stuff together. If Nneka Ogwumike continues to prance around, playing hardball, not being transparent with the players, not being transparent with the agents, hiding information, okay, giving them no input, only being a voice for the people who are going to get max contracts and screwing over the mid-tier players, as long as she's going to continue to prance around doing that.
Expansion is still on schedule. And while the internal debate continues, the business side of the WNBA is acting like the train is leaving the station with or without full alignment from the Players Association. That is what makes this moment so revealing. Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest commercial force right now, is still part of a larger machine that keeps moving forward. The owners are not treating this like something they can casually delay. They are preparing for the next phase of the league's growth, and the deadlines coming up make that crystal clear. The message from the business side is simple.
Agency expansion and the draft. Okay, so the drop dead date for everybody, and I'm gonna blow this up a little bit so you can see it a little more clear. Okay, because I know I had a lot of people, asking about the dates and this and when's this, when's that. Here it is. Boom. All right. A drop dead date would be March 10th. Okay, now all of this is contingent on the March 10th plan that has been set in motion, and I'm sure these owners have a contingency plan, like I said, for if the WNBPA continues to be delusional and just out of their mind. Okay, so March 10 would be the drop dead date. It would take up until March 31st for the legal to get sorted out with the attorneys and everything for a contract to be signed March.
Look at how tight this window really is. March 10th is the deadline to reach an agreement in principle. If both sides can get there, they then have until March 31st to finalize the legal language, let the attorneys clean up the details, and formally sign the deal. That means only a few short weeks to lock in one of the most important labor agreements the league has ever faced. And the pressure does not stop there. By April 1st, expansion teams need protected player lists from the rest of the league. That forces existing franchises to make immediate choices about who they value most and who they are willing to risk losing. Those are major roster decisions with long-term consequences, and they have to happen almost immediately after the CBA framework is supposed to be settled.
Fifth, you have the NCAA Final Four and National Championship that we all will be paying attention to. There will be some elite prospects, I'm pretty sure, participating in that. The day after the National Championship is the expansion draft. So these teams, the Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo, they're getting that list of players who are protected on the 1st, and they'll have 5 days to scour through that, with the expansion draft happening on the 6th. On the 7th, pre-agency. All right, pre-agency, that's when players are gonna start talking. Their agents are gonna start meeting with teams, GM.
Then comes April 6th, when the expansion draft puts those decisions into action. New franchises have only days to evaluate the available talent pool and shape the foundation of their roster. Right after that, free agency negotiations begin, followed by official signings, and then the incoming rookie class enters the picture through the college draft. So while the public sees labor tension, the real story is the calendar. The league is moving at full speed, and anyone not prepared to keep up is about to get exposed. The timing only gets tighter from there. One day after free agency officially opens, the college draft arrives. That means teams are trying to do two things at once: lock in veteran talent while also preparing to bring in rookies who could immediately reshape their depth chart. There is no breathing room. Front offices are making overlapping decisions that can affect the entire season before a single regular season game is played. And the turnaround is brutal. By April 19th, training camps begin. That gives teams less than a week to finalize contracts, complete physicals, handle travel, and get new players into the building ready to practice.
You will have the college draft, okay? You're going to have Lauren Betts, Tania Latson, Flau'jae Johnson, Olivia Miles, Awa Pham, AZ Fudd likely to be the #1 pick, joining Paige Beckers, okay? All of these prospects will be getting drafted on the 13th. Just 6 days later, the WNBA training camp starts on April 19th. Okay, things are going to be moving very, very fast. And then on April 25th, you will have preseason games starting. You're going to have Caitlin Clark stirring the pot on these fools every single day, stirring the pot, cooking their ass. That will be April 25th preseason with a May 8th regular season tip-off. And we know
veterans, rookies, expansion additions, and free agent signings all have to be sorted out almost at the same time. Then by April 25th, preseason games begin. That means Competitive action is arriving less than 2 weeks after the draft. The regular season follows almost immediately after that, with opening night on May 8th, and Caitlin Clark expected to be one of the league's biggest national draws right out of the gate. That is not a loose schedule. That is a tightly coordinated operational machine. And that is the contrast that matters. From the league side, the infrastructure appears fully mapped out. Expansion plans are moving, team calendars are set, broadcast windows are lined up. Arena logistics have been accounted for. Every major checkpoint has a place on the calendar, and every one of those checkpoints depends on decisions being made on time. This is what preparation looks like when a league is trying to capitalize on momentum. Now compare that to what is happening on the players' side. Instead of a clean, united message, the public is seeing disagreement. Players appear to be questioning leadership. Agents are raising concerns about transparency. Surveys and counter-proposals are becoming part of the controversy rather than part of the solution. That is not the image of a single organized front negotiating from strength. It looks like a group struggling to stay aligned while the business side keeps moving forward. And that is what makes this so important. The WNBA just experienced its biggest surge in attention yet, with record-breaking visibility, stronger ratings, bigger crowds, and far more national focus. This should be the moment the league builds on that momentum, not the moment internal conflict starts undermining it. This is the window the league has been waiting for. This is when momentum can be turned into real power. A surge in attention gives the WNBA a chance to push for stronger media rights, expand into new cities, attract more corporate investment, and establish a more stable financial future. But all of that depends on one thing: labor peace. None of these opportunities mean much if the league cannot lock in a workable CBA. That is the pressure point. Broadcast partners need certainty before they fully commit. Sponsors want reassurance that the season will begin on time and without disruption. Expansion teams need clarity so they can build rosters, launch campaigns, and start selling the future of their franchises. Every day without a signed agreement creates more uncertainty, and uncertainty is the fastest way to cool off business momentum just when women's basketball is finally commanding broader attention. To be fair, the players' concerns are real. Higher salaries, better travel conditions, stronger healthcare protections, and improved maternity benefits are all legitimate issues. Those are not unreasonable demands. Those are core quality of life and compensation issues that absolutely deserve serious negotiation. But even valid demands become harder to secure when the internal structure behind them starts breaking down. That is where the real problem shows up. You cannot negotiate from maximum strength when your own side is questioning the process. You cannot project leverage when part of the membership appears ready to accept terms leadership is still resisting. You cannot build trust when agents representing major talent are publicly saying they were excluded or left in the dark. That puts union leadership in a nearly impossible spot. The task is not only to fight for the best possible deal, but to do it while managing competing priorities, internal disagreement, and outside pressure from agents who want a more transparent role in the process. At the same time, the league is operating like it has no intention of slowing down. And with March 10th approaching, that imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. If that deadline is missed, every option gets uglier. A delayed season damages the league. A standoff heading into camp damages the players. A forced implementation of a final offer would create even deeper resentment. Fans would see dysfunction at the exact moment the sport should be showing strength. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is not waiting on any of this. She is preparing for the next season, building on the momentum of a rookie year that pushed the league into a new tier of visibility. And that is the contrast defining this entire moment. Clark is moving forward. Ownership is moving forward. The calendar is moving forward. The only question is whether the union can get aligned before the rest of the system moves past it. March 10th is coming either way. If the players' side cannot unify, improve communication, and present a position that reflects real consensus, the league will hold the stronger hand when it matters most. And once that happens, the clock will not care who was right. It will only reward whoever was ready. So this is what it all comes down to. Not just money, not just proposals, not just who said what in public. This is about control in a moment when the WNBA is trying to define what its future will look like. The league has momentum. The owners have a timeline. Expansion is already in motion. Broadcast windows are lined up. New markets are preparing. The business side has made its choice.
In the big slot, national TV, May 9th. It's all happening. WNBA got their ducks in a row. They're ready to rock and roll. WNBPA needs to get their head out of there. You know what? Caitlin Clark is ready to go and dominate.
It is moving forward. The only question left is whether the players' side can match that urgency before the window starts to close. Because once a league reaches this kind of moment, hesitation becomes expensive. Internal confusion becomes leverage for the other side. Public division becomes a signal that one party is organized and the other is still trying to figure itself out. And that is exactly why this situation feels bigger than a routine labor dispute. It is exposing who is prepared for the next era of women's basketball and who is still stuck fighting internal battles at the worst possible time. The players deserve a better deal. They deserve stronger salaries, better benefits, better travel, and a structure that reflects how much the league has grown. But deserving more and successfully securing more are not the same thing. To win in a negotiation this important, the players need clarity, trust, and alignment. Without that, every valid demand gets weakened by the process meant to protect it. Meanwhile, the rest of the league keeps moving. Caitlin Clark keeps preparing. Teams keep planning. Owners keep building. The schedule does not pause for dysfunction, and deadlines do not slow down just because one side is not fully ready. That is the brutal truth at the center of all this. So when March 10th arrives, it will not just mark a date on the calendar, it will mark a test of leadership, a test of unity, a test of whether the Players Association can pull itself together in time to shape the future, instead of reacting to a future already being shaped around it. And if they cannot, then this entire standoff will be remembered for what it really was, a moment when the league had a chance to move forward together, but one side blinked while the other kept walking. That is why this matters, and that is why everyone is watching. If you have been following this entire breakdown, drop your thoughts below and let me know who you think really holds the leverage when the clock finally hits zero. And stay locked in with Courtside Leaks for the next piece. Because this story is not just about what happens before the deadline. It is about who controls the league after it. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.